thank you everyone who decided to join our interesting panel. We have very distinguished panelists. I'm really honored to be part of this panel and to moderate it and to take it to the next level. And basically, we want this panel to be at certain points an engaging panel. So by the end of the session, we may have like 5-7 minutes, depending on our time, to maybe accept 1, 2, 3 questions and then have the opportunity to answer these. So in this interesting era that we're in, the technology has been there and the AI, everyone is talking AI and talking IoT. So now we're trying to leverage on these important tools, and we have the distinguished speakers, different background in the Middle East, Gulf, Africa, basically, and we want to leverage on these tools and to see how we can take it further. So allow me to quickly introduce the speakers in very short note, and then we can take it from there and to hear their idea and their background and their how do they see from their own perspective on the subject. So allow me to welcome Hisham Turki, the CEO of Innovation City Technopark, specialized on matronics and president of Association of Tunisia Technopark. Thank you. And Professor Khaled El Gazzar, professor of and Canada Research Chair in the Internet of Things at Ontario Tech University, Canada. Dr. Lotfi. Dr. Lotfi is basically a distinguished academic and entrepreneur with PhD in physics and an MBA in technology management. He's currently at Qatar University, focusing on the entrepreneurship and transforming research into impactful ventures. And Dr. Mohab is a professor in wireless communication, AI, and IoT, University of Bahrain. So I would like to give 2-3 minutes for each and every panelist to introduce himself quickly and their view on the subject. So I'd like to start with Dr. Khaled, please.
Thank you, Saif, and thank you everyone for attending the panel. My name is Khaled El-Gazzar. I'm associate professor and Canada Associate Chair in IoT in Canada, University of Ontario. And basically my research is in the intersection between Internet of Things, intelligent sensing, and AI. My group and I are working on applications in different domains like transportation, healthcare, public safety, smart agriculture, digital twin, and many things that are related to the convergence between IoT and AI. And the product that we develop is basically research innovations and ideas. And in my lab, I have about 15 PhD students. All of them are from the MEA region, which I'm proud of to bring to the discussions.
Thank you, Doctor. So please, Dr. Turki, if you can give us a quick brief on yourself and how do you see this this interesting topic and what value can bring.
Okay, thank you, Saif. I am Hisham Turki. I am here as the CEO of Innovation City, which is, as said, Saif, Technopark specialized in mechatronic, digital, electronic, mechatronic. But I have another hat, which is I am the chairman of the Association of Tunisian Technopark. We have 9 Technopark in Tunisia, and we in different sectors.
How many, please?
9.
Interesting.
Agri-food, textile, chemical, and biology, and so on. And we try to work together basically on AI because it's a transversal activity which can regroup all these technoparks, and we try to develop a three-tier ecosystem where ideas can develop and where we can follow our startups and acceleration. We have an incubation, acceleration, and so on.
Okay, thank you. Actually, Dr. Lotfi, I have very interesting background. basically when you see professors, you see them taking the ladder, the normal steady ladder, academia, and then being a professor. But I think you have different story to say here.
Thank you, Saif. So it's a pleasure to be here, and thank you all for being here with us. So I came to where I am today as the Associate Director for Entrepreneurial Transformation at Qatar University from not deep tech, I came from deep science. I'm a theoretical physicist by training, and I've always been motivated by pursuit of knowledge in disregard of any applications or impact in society. After a long essentially career of 17 years in industry, large firms, my own startup, I came back to academia with the purpose of and the belief that transformation of our societies, creation of economic growth and sustainable society can only come through innovation and entrepreneurship. And so it involves a holistic approach to nurturing human capital that is been driven by ideas and long-term objectives, and where AI and IoT is essentially just the tools of the day that are going to enable us through that journey. And so my job today is to how do we nurture and have this holistic approach to building an ecosystem that actually drives that transformation to a more sustainable and more flourishing society through ideas, human capital, and the most essential tools, which happens today, AI and IoT, but could change in the future as well.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So talk about the ecosystem and driving it from the academia to the industry. I would like to welcome Dr. Mohab. So please, Dr. Mohab, if you can give us a quick view on the subject from your perspective.
Yeah, thank you, Saif, for organizing the panel. Welcome, everybody. So let me introduce myself briefly. I am Professor Mohab Mangood, Professor in Wireless Communications, IoT, AI, in University of Bahrain, Kingdom of Bahrain, not far from here. And my research is originally in wireless communications, and recently we trying to apply AI and IoT systems. I have a research group similar to Dr. Khaled, my academic background. We have also master programs and PhD programs. So I have a group of about 10 to 20 students working on this field. So this is our research. We're trying to educate the students with AI, OT culture, and so that's it, almost briefly.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, and also I'm with IEEE, Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. We have a lot of activities. We do conferences in this field, and also IEEE Communication Society. So I'm representative here in GITEX for both of them.
Thank you, Dr. Mohab. Talk about the AI and IoT. Basically, when we say that we're basically elevating students to the market, so we have to look at the market size. So the market size is basically set to be like 153 billion USD. Yeah, so that's crazy big market share that we have. So now when you talk about the MEA region and how we can leverage on this, so I think from here we can take the challenges that we can see. So I'd like to hear the view on the challenges. And when we talk challenges, we always look at the bright side. So challenges are there to be opportunities. So if you're not leveraging on the challenges, you're not going to have the opportunity to grow and to take a really good, interesting part. So Dr. Lofi, please, if you can give us a quick view, what challenges do you see, how we can leverage on this, and yeah, how can we turn this into real opportunities?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, we can look at challenges in two ways. We can look at them as roadblocks or stepping stones. So I'm always of the opinion that a challenge is a stepping stone. And when it comes to AI and IoT, we have some transitional challenges and we have some long-term challenges, which are represent in a way the inherent limitations of AI and IoT. So some of the transitional challenges would be the issues, for example, of privacy, security, and the potential for widening socioeconomic gaps between the haves and the have-nots of AI and IoT. So we know, for example, that AI is limited by the amount of data and the quality of data that you can feed it. Is limited by generalizations. It's not possible to essentially provide input on a wide variety of the train for particular things. We know that IoT devices, for example, are subject to hacking. And it's very hard to have an unhackable IoT device because the developers never have the time to actually close all the loops and the backdoors. And so the way I think we have to address it in the MENA region here is we have to see, let's stop being consumers of the current products of AI and IoT. Let's try to lead and with the new products and new technologies that actually solve those limitations. And then the other approach for the more inherent limitations of AI and IoT, let's look forward beyond AI and IoT. Let's invest in R&D and capabilities in quantum computing, in edge computing, in neurogenic or neuromorphic computing, which are a quantum leap from what AI is capable today. There's, for example, the opportunity for general artificial intelligence called GIA, which only the big guys in the US are investing in, but here we're just watching. Are we going to continue to wait until they develop and solve all those problems so that we can consume it? Or do we take on the leap of faith and able to now lead? Because the opportunity to lead is not based on any technology capabilities that they have that we don't. It's really based on a mindset and on the courage and daring to be able actually to do. And this is an opportunity that's unprecedented in the history of the MENA region, that what you need is human capital and the right mindset. And if you have that, you can actually lead and have the others consume our products instead of staying on the consumerism side of things.
Thank you, Dr. Lotfi. I think you tackled very interesting points about the challenges, and you're turning now stop being consumers and create it or use the technologies to make it. And this is actually going to help me to jump and to do the transition to Dr. Hisham. Basically, that is basically what you have done. So you have created technoparks to develop this and to create it actually in Tunis, yeah?
Sure. To be creator of intelligence, of artificial intelligence, we need both human resources, and we have it in Tunisia, and infrastructure, and we are developing that. So, as you said, the market is very important. So we didn't have to consume, but to have to create for this market. And to do that, we can't do it alone. So we developed partnership with NVIDIA to develop an excellence center in AI and to give the opportunity for our startups, because we are incubation, we are accelerator of startups, to give them the opportunity to develop technology and to have the capability for calculation. So we invest in DGX, high performance computer, to give them the opportunity to have the capacity to capability to develop. And of course, we try to open the market for them, especially because we are a private company, but we are based on PPP, public-private partnership. So we discuss along with the government to try to experiment the development of our startups in our government. And this is the real effect is very important, because we give the opportunity for our startups to have this first example, and they can, after that, to go to the market, international market, of course, where we can find these billions of US dollars. And this is what we do. But it's not only that, because we work on the transformation of industry in Tunisia, digital transformation of industry to attend the industry 4.0. And for that, we develop an excellence center of Industry 4.0, where we, the same thing, we develop incubation acceleration to create tools for the Industry 4.0 and not, to follow this transformation in Tunisia, not only by buying the technology, but by creating the technology in Tunisia and to develop it in industry in Tunisia. This is our target, and I think it's the best way to give the opportunity for our talents, because we have talents, and to keep them in Tunisia, because we have another problem, which is that our talents in EI are living Tunisia, but I think if they go in the MENA, it's best than they going in Europe or another way. So sorry, but
Yeah, that's true. That's basically how I would like to take it. But I want to return the question to you, Dr. Hisham, again, please. So now, given what you have done and the success story building these technoparks, how do you think this can be replicated across the region? So basically, as you mentioned, one of the main important factors that we use is the human resources or the talents, which actually, if I talk about Egypt, for example, Egypt has 60% under 30 years old. So, and we're 120 million, the population. So I think, yeah.
We are only 12 million, so difference is important.
Yeah, 10x. Yeah. So how do you think we can leverage on this success story so we can have it built across and create this technology or use these technology tools in MEA region and leverage on this opportunity?
I think we speak about ecosystem, and Dr. Lotfi spoke about that. It's important to develop this ecosystem, MENA ecosystem, and to create a collaboration between technoparks, if I can say that, even university, because in our ecosystem we have 30 university who are in this ecosystem with 14,000 students, and I think for each government in MENA, they can do that, and then we can develop the ecosystem, multinational ecosystem in EI, and this is very important, I think, to do.
I think this is one of the takeaways I would like to take. But Dr. Khaled, please talk about the ecosystem and the startup. You have already some interesting stories to say and to tell us about your startup behind being or aside being a professional as well. So if you can give us some view on this and how do you see this feeding the ecosystem and feeding the discussions that we have?
Sure. Thank you, Saif, for the question. And again, to your point, I don't disagree with the talent. I think we have good talent in the MEA region, which is, I would strongly say that most of the technology that we see across the world is made by talent from the Middle East. So like a lot of these innovations that we see in North America, in Europe, in Asia, and somewhere else, people from the MEA region were strongly contributing to it. So I don't think we have lack of access to the talent in the region, but probably the thing that I would like to highlight is the missing opportunities. So what I've seen so far in many cities that are started to apply AI and intelligent sensing and the convergence between them is these projects are still into the prototype. So they don't think as a holistic approach to smart city, for example. So the sum of the whole of the sum is much bigger than the pieces. So when we talk about smart cities, for example, we have cameras that are deployed everywhere to monitor the traffic, to provide some insights about public safety, to provide some intelligence about anticipations of suspicious activity in malls and in many things. And this can be leveraged to actually provide a holistic approach about smart cities. And another thing is also because of the region and the lack of access to water in many places, AI and IoT and intelligent sensing can provide access to this kind of things. So, for example, if you have access to sensor that can provide you the information about the soil, so you can smartly aggregate and irrigate the system with less water than we can consume. So From my background, I think what I brought to the discussions is being a professor does not prevent you from making innovations. Most of the innovations we make is, yes, some people think that this is based on papers, but we also bring this into the market through startups and companies. So, for example, we recently made a startup company for healthcare. So we designed a system that can collect the data from the heart, like using ECG patches. And these patches provide real-time access to the conditions of the heart. And this is not made anywhere yet. So we were able to provide the stream in real time, the 12 leads from the heart, right away to the cardiologist. So cardiologists can have access to this in real time and can provide some kind of prediction to say, for example, this person is about to have a cardiac arrest, like 30 minutes before it happens, which is critical to the interventions of saving lives. So this kind of innovations and technology, which is enabled by smart intelligent sensing and AI, has not been in the market yet. So this experience that we bring is actually made by people from the Middle East.
That's really interesting to hear this, and to bring in the basically the talents and research that's being done back to the Middle East, and try to leverage on this, increase it, and even try to build upon and try to use the market, the big market that we have, and bring it back. Yeah. So Dr. Mohab, please, if you allow me, I think from this perspective, talk about the talents and the students. Yeah. Now it has been like 17 years you're only in Bahrain. Yeah. So if you can tell us more about how do you see this, and how do you help and support in bringing this into action in the region?
Okay, I'll answer you, but I just need to add to the challenges that we face in the Middle East. So we have, first of all, we need to develop IoT and AI systems. We need a very high speed internet. And can you imagine till now? Yeah, till now we have in the whole world there is like 3 billion people still unconnected. They don't have internet even. And internet in the Middle East, in some areas, some of countries is still suffering. So how can you develop systems like this with low? This is a challenge. Also, a high computational resources. You need high computational resources. So this is a challenge. Also, you need, as you mentioned, we need to develop the skills for the students. So we need to get a new generations know about AI and IoT, well educated. So if you look at the current in the Middle East, the graduate student, how much they know about developing these systems, this is a challenge. Also, a very important point about the challenges of IoT is the privacy, the security, cyber security, and the privacy, because you are going to transmit a very sensitive data for each one of us. Like can you imagine our health information is going to be transmitted over networks? So this is a challenge. So there are too many challenges still need to be solved. And last but not least, regulations also. So this is...
Sorry.
Yeah.
Last but not least,
regulation platforms. You need frameworks. I mean, you need still till now there is no regulation for these IoT systems and AI systems.
Right. And I think for each challenge that you have mentioned, this was highlighted and brought to me in dollar signs.
Yes. Yeah.
Really, because infrastructure. Thinking about infrastructure, this is like a huge opportunity that you can leverage on, you can break it, and you can make a lot of money from. Yeah? You talk about the students and how to capitalize on the education. This is another opportunity that we can. So this is basically adding to what we're saying, that this is the land of the opportunities. So it's still far. You still have lots of opportunity you can build, you can use, and you can create based on these challenges. and everything that you have mentioned, all the challenges, the security and everything, this is basically why we are here. That's where we see these innovators around us trying to solve, and they are basically fed from these challenges so they can create solutions, so they can make money, so they can have a sustainable economy. So talk about sustainable economy, Dr. Lotfi, I think this is where you're basically were pointing out before this conversation. So
Thank you, thank you. I was hoping you'd ask me that question. We're talking here about how important AI and IoT are in transforming our future. They are very important. They have their challenges, and their challenges are opportunities to make a lot of money, to create a lot of businesses. And we all agree that there needs to be an ecosystem between universities and businesses and entrepreneurs and government's policies. But there is still one thing missing in order to really realize this. And what is this? What's missing is a sense of purpose, is a long-term objective. Because if you go, for example, to a university professor and tell him, look, if you're able to commercialize this technology, you're going to become a millionaire. You're going to make a lot of, you're going to become very rich. You're going to create a lot of jobs. And what is the response going to be? He says, I did not become a professor to become a millionaire. I'm not interested in money. I want to research. I want to publish. I want to teach. So the purpose isn't there. So he's not going to do it. On the other hand, and if you go to kids in Qatar or Qataris or Dubai and you say, look, you need to become an entrepreneur to become very rich. He said, I'm already rich. I have all I need. I have my Land Cruiser. I have my Tesla. And I have my villa. And my dad is going to leave me millions of dollars. So I'm not interested in becoming an entrepreneur because it's hard. So that sense of purpose is not there. And even if you build this whole ecosystem, it's not going to work. Because in the end, it's that long-term objective that's inspiring, that's worthy, that is going to really create that long-term goal and objective that's missing. My proposal is that we need to agree as a community, as a society, as an ummah, to what is our long-term objective? Why do we want to leverage these technologies? Why do we want to invest in R&D? Why do we want to bring ideas that are going to transform the world? And my point is that we need to develop a sustainable digital economy that's going to create sustained growth and wealth and well-being for our society as a whole and the whole world. We need to become leaders in innovation because we have something good to bring to this world. We want to make our world more environmentally friendly, more socially equitable, and more economically flourishing. And we want to leverage all these tools and technology to achieve that goal. We have a vision, we have a purpose, and that purpose is something that drives all of us. I'll give you an example. I did training for innovation entrepreneurship for faculties at Qatar University. And at the end of the training, one of the most senior researchers and professors came to me. He said, Dr. Lotfi, before your training, I always considered making money out of my research is beneath me. It's something that does not motivate me at all. After your training, I realized that if my research is not commercialized, it's not going to have any impact on the world. So there was a mind shift. And now he is transformed. He wants to have an impact. And he realizes that that impact can only happen not through patents, not through publications, but through commercialization. And that means startups. That means innovation. That means creation of jobs. That means diversification of the economy. Once you have that purpose, and if we are able to embed that purpose in our kids, in our professors, in our policymakers, in our business leaders, then that ecosystem will work.
That's music to the ears. So allow me to echo this. So sustainable digital economy, or sustainable digital nation or community. So basically, if we set this purpose, and each one is already having his own, like, I would call it carrot. Yeah. So each one has his own drive in life. Everyone, you cannot have it. Not everyone is having the same. So, but if you're having one purpose that's combining all, and each one is doing it using his own drive and his own way. This is where we're going to have the pointed intersection upwards. So I think we have, because I would like to have some time for the floor to be interactive. So allow me to take like 1 minute from each and every speaker to give us his view. Actually, I'm taking this takeaway, the sustainable digital economy. In 1 minute, how do you see it and how would like to add to it? So yeah, Dr. Khaled.
I can begin, and I can connect the dots with the things that were just mentioned about the access to resources. If you look at the map, the Google map from above, if you look at the MEA region, it's the most deprived area in the map, because we tend to use the resources more than we need. Because, for example, in North America and Europe, we don't light the street unless there is somebody walking in the street. Here, you cannot switch off the light even during the day. So the concept of becoming environmental friendly, I think, is still missing in the area, because we have access to resources, and we don't think that these resources is gonna last forever. So we don't care about resources, but I think we need to think about this as of an environment perspective, and think about how this is going to be sustained for longer time. It doesn't mean we have access to resources, we're going to lose it. We can lose it.
Yeah, great. Dr. Mohab, please, can you give us like how do you think we can add, or what's the impact that we can have for sustainable digital economy?
Yeah, actually, this field, the research in this field is amazing, really, because every day you got a new ideas. Even in the university, each of our students, they could have like a startup company. So every time you got an idea, you got it's like a startup company. So one of the most important topics is the smart cities. Within the smart cities, you can do like a traffic management, energy saving. So this is all for is good for sustainability. Like, for example, very simple ideas of water management, electrical management. So this can be done with AI systems. And yeah, I think I would like to also hear questions from the panels. It will be a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Dr. Turki, if you can give us, again, adding to the sustainable, I would like to give you the chance, please. The sustainable digital economy.
I think it's not a choice. It's an obligation. We go or we die. So we haven't the choice. We have to go in this way. And I think it's really the intersection of all different targets. The target for companies, the target for startups, the target for researchers who want to be recognized. This is very important. Researchers and engineers even want to be recognized. That's why we develop our ecosystem, we develop innovation system. Because when now actually in Tunisia, one person say, I'm working in Innovation City, he is known, he's in the level of technology, and this recognition is very important for researchers, for developers, for startups, and I think the environment and developing sustainability is the point of intersection of all targets. So it's a very good idea from Doctor.
I really like the smooth, this panel is how smooth it is, starting from the challenge that we have, and now we reach to a point where we all agree how to do it. This is basically has been done only on the panel. So it came from everyone is adding value and is adding on top from what information or what constructive we have. So if you allow me to take like 1 or 2 questions from the audience to have it a bit engaging and interactive. So anyone, yeah?
Thank you for this amazing panel and discussion. I guess from what you mentioned, Dr. Mohab, that every student is an idea and a startup maybe. But maybe that's the problem, that we all grow with that mentality that I can become an entrepreneur, which is not wrong. But then we face reality that there is a long road to reach there. It's not about the idea, it's about much more than the idea. And maybe what we lack is that platform ecosystem that will pick up our ideas and put them in a business reality rather than I go that ladder on my own. How can 10 of us become one group and reach with support with the platform? Maybe that's what we lack, because we have ideas, we have a lot of resources, we have a lot of bright minds. Yes, there are economic challenges. A camera developed in China is much cheaper than a camera that will be developed in our region here. And when we talk about smart cities, that means we have thousands of cameras. So economically, it's not feasible that we develop the IoT device here.
Sorry, because we want to have one more question. What's your question? Just
My question
one.
is, how can we have that ecosystem where instead of me reaching alone, gather those ideas together so we have a...
Yeah, I believe basically any ecosystem is based on multiple parameters. We were discussing this previously. You need to get experts and experience from different backgrounds. It's not only one who's going to drive it. There should be a catalyst, yes, but you need to have the academic backgrounds there, and the ecosystem is there, and you need to have the accelerators, whoever is really focused on how to grow the idea to the ideation into implementation, into deployment. You need to understand this. You need to have the government and the regulations. You need to have the infrastructure. You need to have the talent. So basically, this is all the ecosystem that we are basically relying on. And this is basically this is the human nature. Actually, you cannot do it alone. So,
but I think if you allow me to answer this question, I think what he meant is people from the region go outside and they are successful, but when they are here, they're not successful. So what's missing? I think the problem that he highlighted to is the lack of the system. The lack of the system where people can grow their ideas, can foster their innovations, and be able to scale it up to a level where they can be adopted everywhere. So yeah, there is a lot of long road we can reach this, but we have to start somewhere. We have to start beginning to adopt these ideas and enable these successful examples of the incubators in the region. Allow people to put their ideas into practice. Allow the prototyping to scale it up into the level of a company. This requires support not only from organizations but also from the government.
Sure.
And I just have a quick comment, if you allow me. Thank you for the question. It's a very nice comment. And this is what I'll talk from the educational point of view. Why don't we introduce more business classes with engineering degrees? So this is very important. We are working on this now. Any new syllabus we developing, we trying to introduce more economy and again, as the name of this, if you notice, this panel is under Jaya Hub. So it's the government, industry, and academia hub. So this triangle, that's what we need. In the universities, we don't want to be isolated. So we're always looking for collaboration with governance and industry. So thank you for the question.
Yeah, another question. We have 1 minute.
Thank you for this panel. It's a pleasure to be here today. I have a quick question. So I wonder if you can please compare and contrast how it is feasible and how it is how would it be how the procedure would be in which we. So, for example, we have switches at home. And instead of we're replacing them fully with something that has an IoT embedded, how can we actually keep it and then maybe add to it, let's say, a technology or something? Would this be much more easier than opening a startup and then facing a lot of issues trying to sell and pushing the people to change their, like, let's say the refrigerator. We have a refrigerator. Shall I replace it at all with a new refrigerator having embedded, let's say, IoT components? Or can we develop, let's say, a program or a technology that can, we just add on to what's existing?
I can take the question. I think what you mentioned is a bigger question that require much more time to input. But to your point, I think when we do this kind of intelligent sensing, we have something called backward compatibility, which is you don't have to get rid of your stuff. You can just add on to it. You can leverage it. But the problem is, does the cost of adding this to your existing devices would be the same as if you get a new device that can save you more power and more energy? This is a question you have to ask. In some situations, for example, in North America, what we do is we receive feedback from the utility company saying if you use your washer and dryer at this time, you save this amount of much money. If you replace your washer because it's an older version and it does consume a lot of power, if you replace it over 1 year, you would get returned back your the same amount of money. So it depends of how you do the calculations, whether backward compatibility is something that you adopt or you just replace a new thing that can save you over the longer term the amount of money you want. So again, it's just about longer term vision rather than the short term vision that we're thinking of.
Thank you, Dr. Khalid. I think we're out of time. So yeah. So allow me to thank each and every one. It has been pleasure to moderate this very productive panel that we have some takeaways to take, which is basically, to summarize it, we have talked about the challenges that we have in MEA region that has turned and has been shown as opportunities that we're leveraging on currently, using all the stakeholders that we have together from academia, industry, and government together to reach to our goals, and how we can build this ecosystem together and try to be productive and build our technology here in the region, using our talents, using our mind, instead of being only consumers. So towards to sustainable digital economy. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.